This week on LCARA Ham Radio, we are troubleshooting a crossband repeater setup, one that takes RF from the Monticello repeater site and pipes it over to the 88 repeater site. We don't know if the equipment in Monticello is bad or at the 88 site. Come along as we troubleshoot the Monticello equipment on a service monitor. That's what's coming up this week on LCARA Ham Radio. Well, welcome back, folks. We're heading out to the Monticello repeater site, and we're troubleshooting a remote repeater link. Let's check in. So, Don, you're disconnecting power and
that top board is your terminating panel, which makes all your terminations for the two units.
And that's audio cables and stuff like that?
Yeah, everything all goes in there.
Right, and then we've also got coax going into it.
Right, you got a 220 antenna for the link, and then you got a VHF receive antenna for your receiver.
Okay. Then we'll come back to the front. And again, what we typically do is local folks here will utilize the 146.280 receive frequency to get into the 88 when they're local here to Monticello, and it transmits that on the 220 frequency back to the 88 site on a little Yagi. So we're going to take both those panels or just the bottom?
Both of them. Because see, if you take the transmitter and receiver, you can test them independently, but you can't test them as a unit without the terminating panel. That's where everything terminates in there, goes in there. That's where your jumpers come in there to make the terminate.
Okay, Don? Or the panel or the box. Got it.
It's a
half
box and half a panel. Half a box.
It's a panel with a box on the back attached to it. I meant like, is it a full case? But
oh no, it's only about 6 inches.
yeah, pretty awesome. There's your remote receive cross connect panel wiring block.
Okay.
You know?
Just about got this remote receiver out.
Got it. Sure, all the cabling.
And then Don,
just
do a quick overview of this.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, there's a loose screw in there somewhere.
That's
Let Don do a quick description of what we got here.
well, what you have here, you have a receiver which receives on 146.28. It receives those frequencies, and then that goes through the panel up here where it makes all the connection
Okay.
and feeds that into this 220 link frequency.
Which is a transmitter.
On 220 on a transmitter, that transmits the signal up to the 88 where it receives that signal and then feeds that into the voter board up there.
Right.
And votes whichever one is coming in, and that's what brings up port 2
And
on the controller.
On the
there.
Arcom controller up there.
Yeah, on port 2.
Okay. Well, very cool. And how many remote receive sites do we have active, Don?
Well,
Well, we just lost one.
right now we have 4 right now, and of course we don't know what's happened to some of the others. You know that, for instance, the one at Russell Springs just quit. We don't know whether somebody's gone up there and took it out. That's up in the.
That's on top of the hospital?
Well, it's on top of the hospital in the air conditioning handling unit. No, I know where all that is. And so you have to go all the way up in there to do that. So I don't know. I know we have one on the top of the Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital, one at Mount Victory, one here, one in Russell Springs. We had used to be all 4 of them was running, and then we had one up at Mill Springs, and Lightning got the transmitter on it. Hamtronics went out of business, so we now can't get any more replacement boards.
Right. Alrighty. Well, folks, we're going to be taking this back to the main shop, and if we have time this afternoon, we may take a look at these. We're also going to be doing some other activities.
Well, of course, you have a receiver at the 88 site.
Right. So it's not necessarily this unit, but it certainly could be suspect. And again, this uses a Hamtronics board, Don, and they're no longer, so
They're no longer.
we can't fix this ourselves, and we have to come up with a new idea. How old is that circuitry in there, Don?
Do what?
How old is this board and stuff in here?
I'm gonna say it's at least 5 years old.
Oh, at least 5. Okay, I was thinking it was quite a bit older.
See, you look at the thing and all this, that, and the other, and you see it has the older models were crystal bound, and this is not crystal bound. See, and all this, that, and the other. See, so
Okay.
this is one of the newer versions.
Oh. Alrighty. So Don, what are you thinking about doing next on this guy?
Well, I'm going to test this receiver and see if it's working. And
So you're going to hook it up to the tone generator?
I'm going to hook it up with service monitor.
Service monitor, yeah. And then you've got a speaker so that you can hear what's coming out of it.
If I can get it on there. 146.280
megahertz. There you go.
Yeah, I got it going.
So this is expecting a frequency coming in of 146.280 and a tone of 110.9, right, Don? Hook it up to some 12-volt power. Heard something. That's pretty sensitive.
Yep.
Was it 1.4 or 0.14?
Yeah.
Microvolt?
0.126 there.
Right at the threshold, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 0.141 microvolt. That's pretty good, isn't it?
That's good. Ain't nothing wrong with the receiver. And this will tell you here whether they're still coming on. But see, of course, that has to do with allowing you to whether you get a COS or not out of here. See,
Oh,
nothing wrong there.
so that was testing the receiver, wasn't it, Don?
Yeah.
So folks, catching you up a little bit here since the last time we saw this. This is a remote receive site crossband, essentially. And what happens is we receive a signal on 146.280 with a tone of 110.9. We just tested the receiver. Now on the other side of this panel is a transmitter. And what this transmitter does, and usually it's hooked up to a Yagi, it points back to our main repeater site, which is 146.880. And so this left-hand side that Don is about to hook up is the transmit side of this crossband. And this is on 220, Don?
Yes.
So when I said 146.880, technically that's wrong. It's actually crossbanding from VHF to the 220 frequency back to the 148 repeater site, but not the 148 frequency. And it comes in on 220, goes into a voter system, because we have multiple remote receive sites. And the voter system allows out audio through and into the RCOM controller on port 2, I think it was. tone of 94.8, eh?
That's 222.320.
So you've got the same frequency on both sides.
Uh-huh.
And tell me, what are we doing here?
This is the frequency that the thing transmits on. This here, also here, and this, then this will, of course, when we get up, this will tell us the power output that this thing has.
Ah, okay.
Okay, this will tell us the power output, and then this will tell you down here. This is 222.320 is what you want. That'll tell you how much plus or minus off frequency you are.
Off frequency.
Yeah.
Okay. Hook her back up to power. Don's got a power pole connection back there.
All right, now. This could be another thing here. See, this is what I want to put over here. I want to put a toggle here that I can push that thing and make that go into transmit.
And again, what you have over here on the right-hand side is strictly a receiver on 2 meters and a transmitter only on 220.
And so what happens is when you get a COS from over here, then it comes over here and brings up this one here.
Right.
Which one is we? Let's just go down. Let me look down here and find out, first of all, which one is my PTT. Ground.
Need more light?
I'm going to have to get my flashlight, I think, and find out which
What
one.
about your magnifier back here?
Let me get...
So we went and got some more light.
Okay.
But basically all this guy is a patch panel to patch the audio back and forth, I think.
Yes. Okay.
So that will give you your COS to come into the transmit side. And it's essentially inert. There's no power going to it. It's just, unless it goes through the RS-232 cables.
Now, all I need now, I've got power on this. I'd have to have power on this too, so I can do that too. And let me get my HT.
All right.
What I'll do when I key this up, key that up for the 8/8, then it should
Bring up the transmit side.
bring up that there.
So now we've got power going into the receive and the transmit sides. And we hear a little bit of audio on the speaker, but that's just basically some background. Don's gotten his HT, and what he's going to do is bring up the receive side.
3.4 watts.
Well, 3.4 is plenty for what our
AC
application.
40M testing. 1, 2, 3, 4 testing. This is okay. Nothing wrong here.
Right.
It's either an antenna problem or 8/8 side.
So do that one more time. So what we're testing is he's transmitting on his HT that comes into the receiver side. That gets passed through this box over to the transmit side on 220. we're monitoring the power coming out on the 220 side here. And you can see we're getting 3.4 watts, and that's more than enough with the Yagi to hit the 88 side. Our frequency, as far as how close to on frequency is 0.001. So it's very close to being right on frequency. Close enough. So Don has surmised.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing. AC410. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing.
That there's nothing wrong with this unit, and it must be on the 88 side.
So see, when I was key up, then the 88 was not coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's either meant to one of two things: that it was not getting the here with the correct tone
Right.
to there, and of course, like I said, that plainly says that that's going to have a 94.8 hertz tone when it arrives at the 88.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And we know it's putting out the correct tone.
well, I can't tell that here because because once again, this is transmitting on there. I'd have to have a 220 radio
Right.
with
Listening with that tone.
with a 94.8 hertz tone on there,
Right.
and if it opens up,
Right. Then we know it's
Then we
it's
know.
fine. But we're pretty sure it's
so I'd have to have a receiver with that tone on it to make sure that
be 100%. Yeah.
220 receiver was coming up.
Right.
But this is not the problem
Right.
to this point.
Right.
So,
Alrighty.
but
Well,
that's normal, like I said here, because these things here were usually anywhere from 2 to 3, and so we're getting 3.4. So
more than enough.
we're good with 13.7. So there's nothing wrong here. So
Right. Cool.
somewhere else.
Somewhere else, we believe. Well, that'll do it for right now. We'll have to figure out what's going on up at the 88 site, which is the other half of this system.